Now that my video camera smells like scrubbing bubbles to get the oil off, let me give you the gist of the horrifying situation we walked out to. That's my brand new concrete floor with oils.
Hi guys, I know this engine has seen a beating, but before we hone it out, we are going to do another plastic experiment. So we 3D printed an engine side cover.
I love the we part in this. I'm the one who spent 26 hours CAD designing and printing these out. We. Along with that, once I posted this to the Facebook group, this one here, a lot of you guys asked if I would make a skeleton version of it. So, there will be a skeleton version. We're going to test it on the engine today. And we have a finalized version of this with the inside sealed with 6 coats of Rust-Oleum Extreme in order to seal up all of the lines and everything. Well, here's our layout from start to finish, but one thing I would like to point out is that this is based on a stock Gx160 or Gx200 cam on this end. So this is a 14 millimeter, which is what all your clones are based on other than the Predator, basically. So if you have a Duromax 208, a Ducar 212 variant, or you have a Gx160 or Gx200, this design should work for you. It will not work on a Predator 212 from Harbor Freight because this is a different size. I do believe that they are a 13, if I remember right, and I don't know whether you could get bearings for that. I didn't look into it in 13 millimeter. Now, that being said, let's talk through our idea here. This is a real GX side cover, and that's what we based everything off in order to pull the distance from center to center here, along with center to all of the bolt holes after we scanned this in using a flat scanner on the computer. Not to get overly technical, but basically if you use onshape.com, you can use a flat scanner bed in order to scan an item, scale the item based on something in the picture. We know that the outside of this bearing is 52 millimeter, and then at that point, it'll position everything based on the scaling of the item in the photo, making it easy to start tracing everything. This was my original trace, which is ugly as all get out. These are my screw-up traces, and they have a J on them because once I know that they're screw-ups and I make my fixes, I let Jethro play with them. This was my finalized one, which you will see fits over the top of this. From there, I added in different webbing ideas, and this is when I eventually showed you guys on the Facebook page and a couple of groups what it looked like. This was my first printout and testing of the idea of sealing of the inside. This does have a problem, and I'll show you what it is. Basically, if we look at this one and we look down through, it is flat. And see how this bearing pops out? That's because on the stock cover, if we look down across it, see that ridge there? And see how far the bearing actually comes out of the cover? It didn't work out on this one. So on this one, I scaled this up in order to bring the bearing out, and I scaled this out in order to bring the bearing to where it's supposed to be. And as you can see, it's too far out. So we scaled that to make this, which shows that the bearing pops out like it's supposed to. This sits where it's supposed to. And that puts us to this final creation here. About $22 worth of filament later. This is made out of PLA. Really honestly should probably be PETG, but let's be honest, we don't expect it to last. We just want to know how long it lasts. We're going to test our skeleton one first, but before I stick it on here, I wanted to point out, and most of you builders will know this, but the new guys, maybe not, On the cam versus your crank, there are 2 dots that the teeth have to line up with the dots right there. And you want to always, always, always double check that, because it is very easy to pull the cam and skip it a tooth when you're doing your side cover. Also, if we have John back up, in our last video that we did with the piston, not all side covers are created equal. Oh my God. I don't know how many of you apparently think I am stupid enough not to put a plug in a side cover. This is an HZ side cover off of Amazon. There are 3 versions of them. One of them is tapped on this side. The other one is not tapped out. It's solid. On the other version, this is tapped out, and this is solid. And on the third version, both sides are tapped out. And that's the reason why when you look at HZ side covers on Amazon, that there are 2 versions that are like $26, and then there's another version that's like $34. You're paying extra because both sides are tapped out. I'm not too stupid to put a plug in. That's not where the oil came from. It came from the fact that the cylinder is dying and we cut the skirts off of the piston and made it worse. Now, let's test this engine. Got a light here to make it easy to see. We have figured out in my design finalize, I forgot to fill and cap these dowel pin holes. Shouldn't really be that big of a deal. But right now, with the spark plug in but disconnected, we want to see if this moves around when it's under pressure. That seems pretty good to me. So I think what I'm going to do at this point is, grabbing you guys, I think I'm going to pull the spark plug out, and we're going to pop this off, and I'm going to grab a high RPM drill, and we're going to really wing this thing up. Side cover removed. Big Cajon drill we use for mixing concrete. Let's spin this thing up as fast as the drill will make it. See if it holds up. 3, 2, 1, go. I'd say that works.
Yeah.
You can hear the knock of that piston because the skirt's gone. Listen again. I think that's a good test. Now, I know previously in the video, I gave you guys crap about fill plugs. And if you look at my design, there really isn't a fill plug in the sides of it. That's because what I did was I took the level that it should be at for the fill plug, and I designed it to put a spare oil drain plug into there. What that means, though, is that we need to take all 20 ounces and we need to dump it into here while this is tipped sideways, then put our cover on, and then tip it up and check level. It is what it is, but we're experimenting. Let's see how close I was on the oil level. If we tip down here, if I got it right, we should have just a trickle. Ha! I'll take it. Just a trickle. Now, this is our oil plug. Usually this is at the back of the engine. This is from a spare off a blown up generator. And we're just going to wallop it right into there. And by wallop, I mean gently. Voila! We even have an oil seal. I thought ahead. Except for I forgot about the dowel pin in the dowel pin hole. I'm not perfect. Sorry, guys. Still not perfect.
Well, you guys know the drill. How long do you think the engine side cover will last for? I'm guessing probably 45 minutes.
You're guessing 45 minutes?
Yeah.
Well, I preemptively have the knowledge that when we made the ASA valve cover, that lasted 30 minutes. I'm betting right here fails because of the exhaust in about 30 minutes. Because this is PLA, which is way lower melting point. Okay, so we got 45 minutes, 35 minutes. And I know somebody's going to say that it's going to blow right through down in here on the very first pull. So let's see if they're right. Alright, choke all the way on, gas on, spark plug connected because I'm stupid and forgot that in the past. Guys, give me just a sec to clean the phone, because apparently while we were inside for a second dealing with life, it vibrated a couple of bolts loose and then dumped every bit of oil out.
Oh, that's hot.
Are they hot? That one's loose. That one's not loose. That one's missing. That one's missing. It's solid. Actually, before it can cool down, let's poke at it. Let's see if there's a soft spot. No, there are no soft spots. I think, honestly, it actually would have been fine if... You know what, guys? Here's what we're going to do. Obviously, all the oil is gone. I'm going to bet that if we put those bolts back in, I'm going to bet it fires up perfectly fine. It's just we should have blue Loctited these, and we didn't. Alright, let me clean the lens off. Oh, wow, there's a hot spot. Wait a minute. Where is it? What did I just hit that was hot? Right there. There is a slight hot spot right... Yeah, where the cam is supposed to be right there. Alright, let's pop it off since obviously all the oil is out anyway, and let's see what it looks like. Now that my video camera smells like scrubbing bubbles to get the oil off, let me give you the gist of the horrifying situation we walked out to. That's my brand new concrete floor with oil splashed almost like 4 to 5 feet out and away. Everything in the emergency oil tray. I'm glad we put an oil tray under it. Okay, so let's pop it off. Go ahead, John. Let's see what's going on. Try not to pop the cam loose with it.
Oh, that broke.
What broke?
The seal.
Oh yeah, it ate the seal from getting rattled. Okay. Yep. Okay, I heard, yeah, the cam came loose. Yep. Well, there's the bearing. And, oh, that's hot to touch. That, ouch, 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 ouch. Ow, okay. It did not fail. But then again, getting beaten around all over the place probably did not help it any. I don't see any damage to that gear since the cam is... Ow, that's hot. Oh yeah, that's hot too. I think it heated up enough to cause it to warp and fail. Yeah, this is hot enough, which also explains why I felt heat right in this area on that backside. Oh, yeah, that is perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with the gears on there, so we caught it just in time to save it from wiping the cam out and the gears. Let's come around here and take a look at the cover itself. Yeah, that's not broken free. That's solid. There's no cracks anywhere in there that I can see. Let's hold it up to the sun. Yeah, there's no cracks through it or anything. We're going to call that sun, even though it's foggy out. This is not a crack, by the way. This is where there's a little bit of plastic residue that makes that line. So that's not a crack, that just is what it is. Yeah, I don't know. So, here's my conclusion, John. My conclusion is that you would have been right if I had done it right. No, I'm being serious. I'm being serious. I think that you would have gotten the 45 minutes worth of runtime out of this if I had a blue Loctited every bolt going into it. I do think it would have failed. I think it would have just barely managed to make your 45-minute mark. Because where the cam was right there is where it was so hot it was burning on my finger. So it was going to fail. It's just I screwed up and it failed sooner. Which means obviously I rigged the test just so that I would win. That's what everybody in the comment section is going to say. They're going to say I deliberately did it just so that I would win. Okay. I do want to add one thing. We ended up with the same situation with that bolt right there when we had our clear valve cover that we 3D printed. And what seems to happen is that when you tighten up on the plastic, it gets nice and tight. We totally torqued everything down right like it ought to be. But if you end up, like say, right here where all this hot oil is dripping down, and the plastic starts to get a little bit malleable, then it stops having pressure back onto the bolt, and the bolt would back off, which is what this did when we made the valve cover out of ASA plastic. So yeah, I think that you could have won if I had done my job right. Alright, everybody. Let us know what you thought of this video. Thank you to our Patreon supporters who paid for the plastic in order to make this video, along with paying for the bearings that we use for where the cam goes. And we will post a couple of links down below where we will have the Cults 3D link for the side cover in case you want to try this experiment, along with the skeleton, which people were requesting for being able to do builds. With that said, say bye-bye.